Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the After Action Report here with the 13th Fleet. I am very happy that you are joining us tonight, and I will also say that Admiral Tater's Ship Shop is very glad that you're joining us tonight because it gives us a chance to let you know about the awesome products that he has put together for accessories for Armada. Some of the best around. If you have ever been to any Armada tournaments, you have probably seen some of the fine work that he puts together. So follow the link there, check it out, and I think you will really like what you pick up there. Now, tonight I do not have my green screen behind me because, well, I'm still unpacking from a trip and my house is still in disorder because I'm doing a lot of renovations. Which means that things are a little bit crazy. That's why the schedule has not quite been what it's supposed to. But we'll talk a little bit more about the schedule after we do the show. We've got a lot to talk about today, so I want to make sure that we have plenty of time to talk about all of it. So we are going to go ahead and be joined now by our friends Garrett and Ruben. Welcome.
Hey,
How you doing?
Ruben's always got so much to say.
Mm-hmm.
So Ruben and I have been on trips to various places, so we did not get to enjoy the fun of the Kentucky Teams tournament. And before we get into starting to talk about upgrade cards, I thought I'd give Garrett a chance to tell us about the experience there.
yeah, listen, super fun. So Ryan Icebecker put together this format for us, and we had 6 teams of 4, and it was really cool because each team had to have each faction on their team, which forced, a wide variety of builds. And then we had a lot of fun teams. So we had the Ohio team. We had a team from Chicago and Wisconsin. They call themselves Wakago. And then we had a team from Tennessee, Ohio, and Indiana, and they called themselves O it was O Tenniana or something like that. I kept saying it wrong. I still saying it wrong.
Utini!
Hannah or something like that. And then we had 2 Kentucky teams, 3 Kentucky teams. So super fun. If you've never played on a team format, like on TTS or anything, it's really cool. So the teams get paired, and then the 2, like, we'll call them admirals or whatever, get together, and you have your 4 admirals, and you both put down your champion card. And there's some strategy involved here because you put down, like, let's say you have General Draven in your team. You put down Draven, and they simultaneously put down Sloane. And then they need to pick out 2 of their admirals as challengers that would be a good match versus your champion, and you do the same to their champion. And then you have a 4th card in reserve that's a surprise. So whoever you don't send to fight the champion has to fight the reserve. And so the format really only works if you've got 3 rounds and 6 teams of 4. And so that's kind of a drawback to a lot of communities because that's 24 people required. But it's super cool. Ryan did all kinds of fun prizes. Like, he took a deck of upgrade card collections and made them holographic with some sort of handcraft thing he was doing. So I've got a Sparkle LTT now. It's really fun. But everyone just had a ton of fun. So highly recommend. I'm pretty sure we'll do another one. So, and then we potentially, if space would be allowed, we could probably put together 7 or 8 teams because we still had people gone on both sides that could have came. So yeah, super awesome. I was really excited. It was so close. Ohio won, but then 2nd and 3rd place tied, and then total MOV was separated by, I think it was like 7 points total.
Oh, wow.
Which is pretty crazy for 8 players to match within 7 points. And then but we were really excited because our junior achievement team, which is like the teenagers in Louisville, got 2nd place, which we were super excited for him. So, and then, yeah, other than that, everyone was looking forward to the next one. So Yeah, Chris. So we're talking. Do you got any questions about the team tournament? Or are we going into fleet support? Or
I think
support
we're
team?
gonna.
Support team.
Well, I mean, we've got fleet support and we've got fleet commands to talk about. So we'll start with the fleet support.
Love it. Okay, so fleet support. I'll head it off here. Bomber Command Center, 8 points, while a friendly squadron with bomber at distance 1 to 5, and that's key distance. It's measured plastic to plastic. Is attacking a ship, it may reroll 1 die.
And Ruben has turned sideways on us.
He's
Go.
Back.
We're back.
He tried spinning. It was a good trick. A squadron cannot resolve more than 1 Bomber Command Center card per attack. So you can't re-roll the same die with another Bomber Command Center on a second ship. I don't know if you have a tier list set up, but this is a A-tier card and is necessary in all Bomber lists.
Yeah, I would have a hard time arguing with that. I think the only thing that keeps it from being S is simply because not every build needs it.
Point defense ion cannons tracks it down quite a bit. But it's super important for like red dice and your black ships. I used it a lot this weekend with my Arc 170s because I kept rolling double accuracies, which is I was like, again?
And I mean, 8 points does seem a little bit expensive, but what you
for
get
unlimited
for that,
rerolls, it's worth it. You got anything, Ruben?
I mean,
we might have some audio issues. Stand by. Audio issues. Stand by.
Sure, but Bomber Command Center, the best of what we would consider a specific build card within the slot, because it's not as general as the other cards. There are a couple of cards that really don't have a place in the game right now because they're more interesting ideas that don't really land in competitive play. But Bomber Command Center, you see it a lot because bombing is good, and it's not as good as it was, but that's because PDICs just makes everything, like everything is around that card now. So you don't see you see Bomber Command Center and 2 dice bombers, because that's the only way you can really like push a good number through PDICs.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, Bomber Command Center, still staple to fleets. The next one here, Chris, you want to read that one?
Is it CommsNet?
CommsNet.
After the reveal command dial step, you may remove 1 command token from the ship to assign a matching token to another friendly ship at distance 1 to 5. And all this for 2 points.
Yeah. What do you think, Ruben? Take it away. This is important.
Yes, obviously. It's in so many fleets. There's so many things that you need command tokens for that you're always, if you can do this card, you're going to do it at least one. Like, I can't think of a fleet. Like, the only one I can think of is a Kraken MSU Rebel fleet that has no CommsNet in it, because it's taking typically Bomber Command Center. Because your 1 command ships just going to nav or Conquer at the beginning of the game, and then you're done. They can only hold 1 anyways, so it's fine. But if you have anything with more than command 1 in your fleet, you're probably going to take this card.
Yeah, absolutely agree. Definitely S tier. It's been like the staple of how fleets work since the game came out. Flexibility, charging up, command tokens to charge other cards, important engineering, important navigating, slowing and speeding it down. Yeah, it's, one of the most, probably, top 5 most important cards in the game. And it's in almost probably 95% of lists that have a flotilla.
Yeah, amazing. I mean, that's all you can say.
Yeah. For players out there who might be new, it's important to remember that the way the timing works is you can't have a token on like a GR75 and also take a token from your command dial and keep one and send the other one. You have to take 1 command token on that ship and then CompsNet it over, so you can't double dip. But yeah, but CompsNet combined with things like Ahsoka Tano is super useful, or Ramus Antilles, or Tantive 4 in your fleet. You combo all these things together, it really adds up. Next card is Jamming Field. Do you have the cards in front of you, Ruben, or do you want me to read it?
Go ahead.
Got it. All right, Jamming Field. While a squadron at distance 1 to 2 is attacking a squadron or defending against a squadron, the attack must be treated as obstructed. This card is 2 points. It's a weird card because it obstructs both you and your opponent. It's a weird card. It's hard to justify to use this because it goes on a flotilla, and if your flotilla is being useful at distance 1 to 2 of a squadron battle, it's probably in danger. I can't see many use cases for this card. I would definitely put it in D tier, if not F tier. I don't think I've ever seen anybody use it personally.
Yeah, didn't even realize this part.
Yeah, I didn't even think about this because we were all talking at the start of the show that, wow, everything in fleet support is good. Well, maybe not this.
Well, yeah, except for Jamming Field. That's the asterisk. Is this guy? This 2-point card. It's not even expensive. Like, it's just not useful.
I mean, the range is too limited to be terribly useful, and I mean, if you're doing it to try to protect your bombers, which is the only thing that I could think of to be really a reason to do it, is to keep your bombers from being engaged so that they could smack a ship, it's still not good.
Yeah, it's just like, what am I doing with this card?
I mean, if you're wanting something to if you're running bombers, you're running Bomber Command Center rather than this.
Right. And the fact that it obstructs both of you is just. But the next card is actually useful. This is Munitions Resupply. Take it away, Chris.
After your reveal command dial step, you may exhaust this card to discard any number of concentrate fire tokens from it to choose that many friendly ships at distance 1 to 5. Keep in mind when you say friendly ships, that does include yourself because it does not say other friendly ships. Assign each chosen ship a concentrate fire token, and it starts with 5 tokens on there. It does exhaust, and you do have to spend a token other than a squad token to refresh it, but still, it's good.
Yeah. What do you think, Ruben?
I think this is another S card. Like, you actually see it in competitive play. It's a trade-off card for CompsNet. So if you want to give more ships just 1 token, you take this. And in this case, it's Confire. We'll see another card that does the same thing with a different token. It was mostly played in Clone Wars factions, and now we've seen it populate into Rebels and Empire based on like what build you're doing. You don't see it very much in Rebel play because Rebel fleet archetypes aren't really designed to give out multiple ships the same Confire token because they don't need the action economy to do that. I'm really the only person that I can recall. Garrett, you might know some more list than me now that is really used like parts resupply and munitions resupply. And that was with the Brick fleet, so the Starhawk and Providence.
Yeah, I was going to say I would probably rate it A and not S just because it fits in where it fits in amazing, but it is a smaller chunk of fleets that want this as opposed to CompsNet.
Yeah, I'd put it top A, bottom of S, just because, like Ruben says, it's not a Rebel card. Like, parts resupply is useful for the Rebels, but munitions resupply is useful for GAR, Empire, and CIS. I mean, the big advantage is that you can send tokens to 3 different ships at once.
Yeah.
and all three of those factions have a way to use those tokens, like Sovereign with the Empire, obviously refreshing Spats with Gar, and then rerolls for the CIS. And then, things like Clone Gunners for Gar, things like Swivels for CIS. It's a great card. So this and the next card we talk about, Parts Resupply. I would put them on the same discussion here. Parts just passes out repair tokens. Munitions passes out Confire tokens.
Yeah, it's pretty much the same thing. The only exception is to refresh Parts Resupply, you can use squad tokens, but you cannot use Confire.
Right. So these are my favorite cards that came out with Clone Wars because they changed the way that Gar could, or GCW could also play. Instead of everyone having to take CommsNet, you now had 2 more options of how to build fleets. But yes, S tier cards, amazing. Parts and munitions resupply. And the fact that you can give themselves a token from their card makes refreshing it in a important moment, really easy.
Yeah.
The next card is Repair Crews, and this is a really cool card. So it's
Hold
4
on,
points.
I didn't see that one. So I will have to find the art.
It's fine.
On that.
I'll read it while he finds it
Yeah,
here.
no worries.
It's got super sick art. I just want to say, all of these cards do. I don't know if people just need to sit down and look at Armada card art sometimes, but it's like a GR75 refueling Nebulon. It's just a really neat image. But this card is cool because it requires you to spend an engineering command, so token or dial, and instead of spending points, you may discard 1 damage card from a friendly ship at distance 1 to 2. So this thing is always seen on Gazantes with Superstar Destroyers. And it's really neat because Gazantes and GR75s have really low engineering value, 2 points. So the fact that this doesn't have some sort of high cost associated with it makes it super useful on those tiny ships. And this card is not limited to Superstar Destroyer support. You can slap this on a cheap GR75 or Gazanti and have it fly behind, one of your brawlers and just, discard critical face-up cards. Because it's not limited to face-down ones. It's not an amazing card. I'd put it B tier. But it's just overshadowed, obviously, by these token control cards. I don't know. What do you think, Ruben?
I think a lot of people tend to prefer not having the second CommsNet and just leaving it blank and using the 2 points for bid in a lot of cases. I could see this card being really, really annoying if it was falling around my Farmhawk. It would tilt the locals even more than the Farmhawk already tilts the locals. And on the super, it makes the calculus of actually trying to kill a super or even get it to half. A giant asked for a 400 point fleet to do because if it just repairs one off and then you don't get half hull on the super, you just lose.
Right. To a 4 point card. Yeah.
Tend to want a 12-point bid. And when you're looking at a 12-point bid, you are cutting absolutely every sliver of fat out of your list that you can. And cards like this are what would get cut first.
Yeah. And you can use it on yourself, too. Because it doesn't limit you to another friendly ship. It's like that other card. It's friendly ship. So you can slap Repair Crews on a Pelta. That'd be kind of funny, actually. A Pelta giving itself engineering commands or tokens, and then recovering shields and repairing would be interesting. Anyways, so that's Repair Crews, B tier. The next and last, and people hate this card, and it got a huge nerf back in 2020. So it's Slicer Tools. It's 7 points. It starts the game exhausted. So you gotta get a repair token on the ship into a status phase after round 1 to get this card even started. And it is after you execute a maneuver. You may exhaust this card to choose an enemy ship at distance 1 to 3. You may choose a new command on its top dial. This card is crazy useful against squadron fleets.
Yeah.
Like, if you have a fleet that relies on having squadron commands, and you don't have some way to, like, double dial, and, you know, Gar can't double dial squadron commands, because Bale only does nav and engineering. And Rebels can't double dial with anything. The only thing they could possibly do is have Leia Organa to change your top command dial. But yeah, Slicer Tools. It's a heinous card. It used to not exhaust. I think.
Wow.
Exhausted. And it used to not cost an engineering token to refresh it.
Yeah. So you just like use it on repeat. I don't know.
That's just
Slicer
rude.
Tools. It's a good card. It's S tier. If this card's used in a thoughtful way, it's S tier.
I just think the game is it's very pushed right now about how we build larges and build squad balls. Everything's very focused around large plus 134 and alpha striking with the 134 points a squad. So you don't see this card as much because that archetype doesn't have a lot of space in it for the 7 points that this card costs. But like, if you're playing against that and you're planning for that meta, then you have the slot open on your second flotilla or like your second fleet support slot. If you have the points for it, or if you cut something and you're like, you know, if you're bidding like 4 and you've got something you can cut and +2 to get to this or +4 to get to this, like, as long as you know how to play your fleet well, you don't really need to bid as long as your fleet's designed well and you understand how to play first player. So, and if you're first player and you have like more than a Pelta, you will just slice them and it will ruin their game on your engagement turn, and you might.
I still have to say that this card is the reason why I wish CIS Gazantes had fleet support.
I was gonna say, still one better. Putting Slicer Tools on hard cells. You could put 3 Slicer Tools on 3 hard cells, and just be rude.
Especially with Dooku.
You know? Yeah, right. There's a lot of potential there, and if the playtesters' stories are correct, at the time that was a real issue. Is people were putting Slicer Tools on hard cells, so you'd have like 5 hard cells or whatever in playtesting with Slicer Tools, and it was just total chaos because they could just keep changing the dials on all your ships on repeat. So, yeah, no, Slicer Tools. I feel like there's some potential here that hasn't been unlocked in Gar, to where Peltas could take Slicer Tools. Because usually I only ever see Slicer Tools on Imperial fleets, on Gazantes. And of course it's part of the crucial jerk Gazanti build where you put Tua, electronic countermeasures, suppressor, and Slicer Tools all on one unkillable flotilla. And then the enemy has to waste a bunch of time trying to kill it, because if they don't kill it, they're going to lose the game because of Slicer Tools.
Oh.
But yeah, Slicer
again,
Tools.
I go with S tier. I go with A again because of non-universal factor. You know, I mean, S tier has to be useful in nearly all builds, in my opinion.
That's fair. I'll take that.
I agree with that. I just really think that.
But this is really, really good.
Its ability to change your command dial is nuts. It's the real problem.
you can just win a game off of the good timing of this card.
True.
Yeah.
You have 134, they have 134. You slice their squad ball out, and then you hit them first. Odds.
Yeah.
But how powerful Alpha Strikes are right now, they're just dead.
Yeah, I've had, maybe it was Nick Federico. Somebody sliced my Venator one time, like 3 rounds in a row. I was just like, all right, well, I've lost this game. So, couldn't kill the slicer tools, and I had no squadron commands. So I was just like, all right, whatever.
That pretty much covers all of the fleet support, and most of them are really, really good. Can we say the same thing about fleet commands?
I can't say they're all really, really good, but they're all really, really interesting.
So we start with all fighters follow me. At the start of the ship phase, you may discard this card or spend a squad token. If you do, until the end of the round, the speed of each squadron that a friendly ship activates is increased by 1 to a maximum of 5 until the end of that squad's activation. I feel like this is a rebel card.
You would think.
I was about to make that joke.
Because people fly YT-2400s instead of X-Men.
Yeah, all fighters follow me.
Is that the discard effect is not bad. Like, just going, okay, once in this game, like the critical point, I'm doing this thing, period.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely great effect. The discard to do a token is just gravy. And that's really how I approach these cards. It's just finding the ships that are actually good, that have the upgrade spot on their command bar.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of times you're looking at ships that you really need to spend the other slot to get the flag bridge to get this, and then you're spending so many points on it and spending a slot that you want on an offensive retrofit that
Yeah, I constantly daydream about this card when I think about Rebel Squadron builds, but then I'm always completely train wrecked by the Rebel Pelta, or like you said, Chris, trying to make flag bridge work to where I use all fighters follow me one time. Just listen, everybody, just throw this card in the trash and just bring fighter coordination team to move your B-wings.
The minute that the friggin' MC-80 command has a friggin' fleet command on it, we're cooking.
Yeah, then you don't even need weapons team. You don't need flight controllers. If you have all fighters follow me and speed 3 B-wings, it's like a whole new meta.
Fighter coordinating them, and then you all fighters follow me them, and your B-wings go like 5 or some shit. Yeah, sign me up.
Yeah, speed 4 Y-wings and X-wings would be crazy useful. Our next card, all fighters follow me. If I had put this in a tier, so funny. All the factions that can use this card do not need it whatsoever. Just they don't need it.
yeah.
And then so I'm gonna, I don't know.
I would say
Listen,
D. I really
I
do.
would go as far as F tier. Like, this card is totally useless to the one faction who can use it. I guess you can. There's that one. I never think about this guy, but there's that one CR90 title. What is that? Liberator. Yeah. You can use it one time. You can use it one time.
Yeah, the problem is it's one time, and it's on a CR90. There's not.
Well, now, to be fair, the CR90 is not going to be the one activating the squads, because the way that this works, it's whenever a friendly ship activates the squadrons. So
Yeah.
the CR90 could dump it and let somebody else push the squads and get that bonus out of it.
Yeah. The issue is it's still the one turn.
Yeah.
So
And
that's
Rebels don't have the synergy to Alpha Strike because they don't have a good ship that has fighter coordination teams and enough fleet command
Yeah.
and enough squad command
Yeah.
to and Liberator and then flotillas with 134. Because if you could do that and go, okay, well, my like command my 6 squadron push with Liberator to discard for 1 turn to make all my X-wings go faster, with like Hera and flight controllers with the Adept 2, and now we're going speed 4, would be amazing. But they're just not a large base that will push that many squadrons.
Yeah.
With flight control.
Yep. And then you're not to mention, like, you're spending 7 points for one-time thing between the Liberator and
maybe if we ever got that Phoenix home card.
Well, you have it. Phoenix has the what's it called? Fleet support, but the Rebel Pelta is just a terrible platform.
Or my fault. Phoenix Nest. If we get that Phoenix Nest
the
card,
Quasar.
Yeah, the Quasar for Rebels.
Oh, don't tempt me with a good time.
Man, that'd be awesome.
Everybody in the store will get tired of it because I'll be like, yes, Alpha Strike, go.
Man, that'd be huge. Pushing 6 or 7 Rebel squadrons at once without Finn Rao.
2400. Let me do it. AFG.
This is our dream, Ark.
All right, the next card is another card that suffers from identity crisis. It's called Entrapment Formation. At the start of the ship phase, you may discard this card or spend a nav token. If you do, until the end of the round, each friendly ship may change its speed by 1 during its determined course step. It's 5 points again. Excuse me. So Rebels don't need this card because they have like 16 things they can do to change speed. Empire doesn't need this card because if you want to do this, just bring Admiral Ozzel. Gar, I guess, could maybe use this card, but everything they have is speed 2, so
Swing Captain Jack to just slow down.
yeah, or Silver, yeah. It's just not useful. CIS, again, you've got Tykes, Rune Hako, and then, ways to maybe use this card. No, I just don't see a useful use case. It's a cool idea. Again, cool idea to have all your ships go up and down in speed.
I think
the only faction, maybe Empire, is the only faction that can really use this card.
I think the better way to get the intent of the card, which would have broke the rules but would have been okay, although I think it needed to cost more money, would be a 1-turn boost of 1 speed with no yaw.
Maybe, yeah, to go straight 1.
Yeah,
kind of like Rift Ambush next to the Rift.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just
that
giving
the slow ships the ability to boost their speed for a turn,
Yeah, like a Pelta go speed 3.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that'd be neat. Make it more like a fleet-wide engine text type of thing.
Yeah.
But we know this ability is powerful though because Admiral Ozzel wins tournaments with this ability to go up and down in speed variable. But it's only really useful if you can do it all the time, every turn. And so, if you take this card and make a Thrawn build that double dials engineering, squadron, and then you have the Chimera title and bring this for entrapment formation, and then also have speed control, maybe there's something there. But we're spending a lot of points.
Yeah.
To make all that happen. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe that's a good idea. I think that's the idea behind this was from Rebels, but yeah, trap formation. I'll put it in C tier, totally average.
I still go to D.
That's fair. I can't like talk it up too much.
So next up we have Take Evasive Action. At the start of the ship phase, you may discard this card or spend a nav token. If you do, until the end of the round, each friendly ship may increase the last yaw value of its current speed by 1 during its determined course step. I am going to argue for this A. And I just... There are builds that really want this. Now, 6 points is a lot to spend for it, but the ability to... And granted, with Imperial fleets, you can do this with Jared Gerard, kind of. I think it's a different point in the turn where you can get the extra yaw. But being able to do this with all ships without taking damage, the trick is token manipulation for this, because you do have to have that involved. But I like this card.
Yeah, I agree. It is a good card. It doesn't get a ton of use because you never not take a Titsfive Firepower, basically. But the idea of changing the last yaw on Acclimators or Venators or Providences for the CIS are all really tempting things, because you could almost fix an Acclimator list with this card. But the problem is you got to take a Venator 1, which is extremely dangerous because it doesn't have a defensive retrofit. But I think Empire can take the most from this, because you remember in our Rebellion in the Rim campaign with like the navigate ability to change that yaw.
Oh yeah,
you can make ASD do some wacky stuff at speed 3 with this card.
Unfortunately, Rebels are already bendy enough that you don't super need this card because you can't go above 2 clicks. So, and I don't see a whole lot of value in trying to make the MC80 turn tighter at speed 2. I just want it to go fast.
Yeah.
And Liberty, you just take engine picks anyways, and it's really not there to brawl. I guess there to go kill 2 smalls and then fly away for your 7 or 8, so don't super need it.
I do feel like you're right. This is an Empire card. You know, you throw it on, you throw a Comsnet on a Gazanti following your whoever has this, so that they keep on feeding it nav tokens.
If there was a that could carry the upgrade slot on its bar, it'd be a lot better, because you could have literally any other ship other than the Pelta, and then you could have like Garm Balladless and or a Kraken and 2 assault frigates, and now suddenly the assault frigates have, I think it's duplex at the end of their movement, and then they're also obstructed and they have ECMs. So if you have A frigates that are turning with a nav token or with a nav dial like CR90s, and then they're obstructed and they're shooting their double arcs at you, it could stack up a lot of damage. But they're just the only way to get the upgrade card is to run the Pelta, and the Pelta is just bad.
Yeah. Oh, it always comes back to the poor Pelta. Yeah, no, take evasive action. I could definitely see it A tier. It's super. Anytime you can change yaw clicks, it's a big time win. Wonder if anybody's. I'm sure somebody has, but I think an Admiral Ozzel fleet with take evasive action would be really interesting. Being able to change your speed and also add a click. Yeah, I don't know, that'd be interesting. You could do some crazy maneuvers.
I know I've run this on something before. I just don't remember what it was. I think I ran it on a CIS fleet, which led to some fun.
Yeah, this could fix the Providence's speed 3 chart with a nav command. Make it actually be able to do something besides slightly list to the left or right. Our next card, though, I love this card because it's totally useless. Hot Landing, Fleet Command, 3 points. At the start of the squadron phase, friendly squadrons with Adept gain grit until the end of the phase. When a friendly squadron with Adept is destroyed, you may choose one enemy ship at distance 1 to 2 of that squadron. If you do, that ship gains 1 raid token of your choice.
Why aren't you using this?
It's so funny. I forgot the second part of this card's ability. So when Anakin dies, I can give you a raid token. Yay.
Worth the trade-off.
I don't know. It's so funny. It's like if you had a fleet and a Venator won, and you're like, I really want to give Anakin grit. I guess I didn't think about this. I'll say this. I didn't think about this. You could put Flag Bridge, and instead of Mercy Mission, you could put Hot Landing on. And during the squadron phase, Anakin has grit.
I'd rather have my 70 points.
So I don't know. Yeah, it's an interesting card. 3 points. I like the idea, the Hot Landing idea. I feel like there's something missing here when they made this card and combined it with something.
A few dead-end cards that were obviously intended to have some sort of backup come out, or they were built because they had an idea of what they would do in one or two waves that just never actually realized itself.
Yeah, I've heard rumors that Deltas aspirates, the generics, at some point were cheaper. And so maybe if you spam Deltas, because they have Adept as a generic, maybe this card could have some potential. Because if you had I don't know, 4 or 5 of them, that's something. I don't know.
That's something. That doesn't say it's something good.
Yeah. I'm gonna say straight F tier. Poor Hot Landing. Cool theme, really cool theme. I'll give him that. It's an idea.
Friends don't let friends play Hot Landing.
Yeah.
Oh, but I think this next one is a winner, if I recall correctly. Intensify Firepower. At the start of the ship phase, you may discard this card or spend a Concentrate Fire token. If you do, until the end of the round, while each friendly ship is attacking a ship, it may change 1 die to a face with a hit icon and no other icons.
Yeah, 6 points. This card is God tier. So a step above S tier, it's God tier. I don't know what to say. You get to turn every single die when attacking a ship to a hit. Salvos, attacks, regular attacks. It's so good.
Yeah, you like rerolls? Well, this is better than rerolls. Yay.
This card is amazing because one of the hardest things to deal with in the game is a damage floor. So, when we talked about SW7s, and I said it sets your damage floor to your number of blue dice, right? So, when you set a damage floor from a bell curve, it becomes really, really difficult for the enemy to deal with because we don't have any, we have to pay 5 points to have a damage mitigation and a redirect to just cancel 1 damage. Because braces only round up. So if the damage floor is 1 and you get 1 through, it's going to stick. Period. If you have 3 red dice and you roll average, generally around 2, and then you go, oh, it's 3 damage. You know what's the most irritating number to deal with in damage packets? You only brace it to 2.
I feel like this card is the reason that munitions resupply is so close to S tier.
Yeah, well, there's so many ways to fuel it. Comsnet, munitions, Rune Hako, Ramus, Tarkin.
Card would make Rebel multiple, ships. If their ships were cheaper and you could fight anything but the fucking Pelta, this card would be in every single Rebel fleet. Just look at their arcs. Every single one of their attack arcs is 1 or 2 reds, which is just optimal. Do you understand the absolute insanity of plink damage that with FW7s and intensify firepower and like a multiple rebel ship fleet.
This does lead to a question here, because you said there was one title for, is it a CR90 that gives the fleet command?
Yeah.
Is
but
there
you can
a
only use
reason?
it once.
Okay.
Because this is the one card that, as a fleet command, you need to do it 3 times in the game.
Okay, so this would be one of those arguments for a flag bridge.
Well, even that's only one time.
Oh, really? I thought that was
Yeah.
okay.
No, that's why flag bridge is 0 points.
Okay.
Is that mercy mission just applies, and it only technically used once. So, like, this card would be so good in Rebels and fix Rebel, like, it would just make their damage from their small die pool so consistent.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
Rebels don't have a lot of.
It would I would actually, I think, break the faction. Because it would take TRC 90s and turn them into minimum 3 damage each shot.
I mean, I would argue that you don't need TRCs at that point, personally.
You could do something else, but
Yeah.
it'd be nuts. The amount of points you'd save, right? If you had 4 CR90s without those, what is that? 35 points or 28 points, right? Yeah, that's a whole extra ace.
Yeah, and
it's a whole ghost.
Ridiculous. So yeah, I get it, but like, I also don't think they were thinking about that. I think they just made the Delta, and then never redesigned anything else. Because the game is just layers of stuff on top of each other.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Akbar and TRCs.
I think we all agree that is S tier.
Oh yeah. Top of the pile. Next one.
Yeah.
The next one I'll talk about here is really controversial because it costs 0 points. I used it all weekend. I got it every time.
There's one before that.
Oh, you want to go? You want to do Shields of Maximum first?
No. There's Jedi Hostage.
Oh yeah, I'm looking at Gar. I don't have my.
Yeah.
Look. This is a funny card.
It is. It is something that I think would be interesting to find a use for, but I don't know. It's rough.
You put it on your TF fleets, TF 1726 fleets. If for some reason you're trying to run a Providence instead of Hard Cells and Patriot's Fist, because it just stacks raid tokens. Because when an enemy ship declares you as the target of a non-salvo attack, if this card is readied, the attacker gains a raid token of its choice, if able. When an enemy ship at close range reveals a command, it may discard a squadron dial to exhaust this card. While defending, if this card is exhausted, you cannot spend more than 1 defense token. That line at the end scares people really bad. But you gotta understand. For the other team, other player, to sacrifice a ship at close range to ditch a squadron dial to exhaust this card,
yeah,
no one's gonna do that.
No.
So.
No, I wish this could go on a Munificent.
Well, you can't, because you could put or no, flag officer can only go on larges, right?
Yeah.
What's the rule there? Flag bridge. Oh, medium or large. All right. Let's think here. So we got a comms frigate. All right, step 1. Step 2. Oh, I can't. No, never mind. Yeah. Oh, it's got to be your admiral. So let's slap old TF on here. And let's slap flag bridge on here. And then let's slap. Oh, you can't take Jedi hostage on it. And I bet that's because. There must have been an FAQ or something.
I'm gonna have to look at that, yeah, because
You cannot spin a commands token. Maybe it's because on the flag bridge, it's gotta be only cards that you can discard to use.
well, I mean, but Mercy Mission.
Are you in CI? You're in CIS, right?
But yeah,
Yeah,
I
I'm
am.
looking at CIS. I don't know. Yeah, Kingston's got it locked out. There must be a reason. Interesting.
Now I gotta look at that while you guys are talking about this.
It's a really interesting card. Because it's unlimited. Every time you declare you as a target of attack, they gain a raid token of their choice. Which one is it here? Oh no, it's because I have it equipped. Oh wait, that's my problem. Yeah. Sorry. I had it on my Providence in the same list. Yeah, so you can take Flag Bridge, Omnificent with Jedi Hostage. With TF.
But it
That's
has to be.
And so as long as somebody doesn't come at close range and exhaust the dial, they gain raid tokens. I think that's an idea. That's a thing. That's a thing somebody should try.
But it has to be
I
the
think-
comms frigate to do that.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, and Martuk recently, it seems like. Pretty much everybody's trying to Dooku and Trench and Grievous. So I think there's a lot of space. I think there's a lot of space to innovate within those other commanders.
Now stick with me. We're kind of getting off topic. I'm sorry, Chris. Now, stick
No,
with me.
no, that's
Reki
okay.
Sin-
This is
Reki Sin
amusing.
Support Destroyer has 2 offensive slots. So offensive slot 1 goes to the Flag Bridge. Offensive slot 2 goes to, I don't know, boosted, reserve, whatever you want. And then put the Jedi Hostage on Patriot's Fist. With TF-1726.
Only thing is, you don't have the defensive upgrades.
Well, I mean, Recusants don't anyways.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Everyone's terrified of them anyways.
Because I really want to use this with Dooku.
I mean, you can, but TF, really uses it. That's an idea. That's an idea. You guys might see some Flag Bridge with Jedi Hostage on it in here. With Patriot's Fist. And 10 Vultures. Interesting.
Oh, man. All right. Don't want to think
Yeah.
about it anymore.
What's next? We got, we're losing communication disruption.
No, my phone's just about to die, so
Oh, no.
go put it on the charger.
Back to what we're doing. Okay, what are we talking about next? Mercy Mission? Oh, I'm
Yes.
sorry, Jedi Hostage. I'm
That
going to
was-
say unknown. I'll say C tier, unknown.
I'm gonna go B.
I've never used it.
I'm going to go B because there's potential there, but it's untapped potential at this moment.
B has got to be wildly generous, Chris. Come on.
It's
I'm in a generous mood
Theoretical
tonight.
use.
Well, it's never been played.
The last time I was in a mean mood. Tonight I'm more generous.
Yeah, you really are more generous tonight. I'm going with unknown.
Yeah.
Unrankable.
unknown. I don't know. We got to try this. I got to slap this thing on Patriots Fist and see what happens.
I think you just slot it into your same list where they have to shoot the prob anyways, and if they shoot the prob, then you're just free.
All right, so Mercy Mission.
Mercy Mission. All right, so everybody hates this card with a passion because it's 0 points. Before deploying fleets, unequip this card and choose one friendly small ship, your consular, that's not your flagship. Equip this card to the chosen ship, even if it does not have a fleet command icon in its upgrade bar. At the end of the game, if you're within the enemy deployment zone, you score 40 additional points. If you were destroyed, you increase your fleet value by 20 points. So, there's no loss here, right? Worst case, if it gets destroyed, you lose 20 points. But if you win, you get 40 extra points. It's awesome. And it costs 0 points to bring. 0 for the flag bridge, and 0 for mercy mission.
I think that's the real kicker with this card, is that it's 0 points. It doesn't make sense.
I mean, even if it was like 6 points, I'd still bring it.
Sure, but then like you're at least paying for the risk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because as it stands right now, you just fly around on the edge of the table and then you go, touchdown, whee! And then you get-
It's super easy to land too, because you just fly at speed 4 away from the battle and then just land at the very end. Yeah, awesome card, S tier.
I find it hard to argue your logic.
I definitely understand why everybody hates it. I hate it when people do it to me too. So, anyways, Chris, you want to talk about the last, but definitely not the best?
Shields to maximum. At the start of the ship phase, you may discard this card or spend an engineering token. If you do, until the end of the round, before a friendly ship reveals a command, it may recover 1 shield, and it is 6 points.
This
Yeah.
card makes me reminisce of redundant shields.
Yeah, for sure.
Here's my biggest problem with this card. So let's take Intensify Firepower as its cousin, okay,
Yeah.
brother, sister. I spend a con fire token to guarantee a hit. But if I spend a con fire token during the game, I reroll a die to maybe get a hit. In Shields of Maximum, I spend a repair token to get a shield on my ship, and then if I spend a repair token for Shields of Maximum, I get a shield on each of my ships. So, like, this is only useful if you have more than, like, 3 ships. And also, in a battle, in a game of Armada, usually only one ship is getting shot at. So,
Yeah.
all the other ships just aren't getting the use of this card. So, I don't know, D tier.
I wonder if it would be better if it would gain a shield and move a shield.
Personally, I think the only way to put it on par would be to say that shots are treated as obstructed. But
Yeah,
you know,
but then you're getting into theme issues.
yeah, exactly, because it's not really affecting the shields. I get what you're saying. I'm just saying, in order to be on par with Intensify Firepower, that's what it would have to do.
I don't
In
know what
my
to do with
mind.
this card. 2 shields would be too much.
Not use it.
Removing a damage card would be too much. 1
Mhm.
shield is not enough. Like I said, because you're already spending a token normally in a game to recover
Yeah.
1 shield. So,
But how much of that is because the skeleton meta of the game revolves around 4 activations? Because if the activation economy of the game was more centered towards 5 or 6, this card would be a lot better. Because if I could have like 5 or 6 smalls, and then go, okay, well I have shields to maximum, so I'm going to get 10 to 12 shields in a game, assuming
Well-
I do it for 2 rounds.
Only if
What
you
I'm
have
saying
it.
is,
Only if you have
you're not
ships
shooting
to.
it.
Well, I think I get where you're going with this, because if you have the means to have these smaller ships pass the shields to the target,
Yeah, because then I think that this card would synergize pretty well with projection experts, but
Yeah.
we haven't seen a list that says, okay, I'm going to be tanky and projection expert, because you don't really win that way. You need to kill stuff or farm, and the only way you farm with the projection expert fleets is the muni rec fleets. That's abandoned mining facility, which people know better than to take. So that archetype kind of went away. It's weird.
yeah. I like you're saying, I guess you could take a Providence and a hard sell with projection experts. And this would kind of help that. But like you said, now I'm not killing things. I'm just trying to repair my Providence till the end of the game.
Yeah, because it needs to be multiple ships that are all trying to kill stuff. that are like working together to shoot that also just get a free shield and maybe move them around between each other. And there's not a ship in the game that's pointed to the point where you could do 3 or 4 of them that's actually good. The only thing I can think of is the Nebulon at 57, but Nebulon sucks. So do something else.
And Rebels have a better version of this in the MC Exodus Fleet title cards.
Yeah. All right. Well, that pretty much goes through all of those. The fleet support is definitely better than the fleet command section, but there are a few stinkers on both sides.
Lessons learned here. Lessons learned. Mercy mission is yes. Intensify firepower is yes. Everything else doesn't matter. Jedi hostage unknown.
Unknown.
Yeah. I think that there are a few cards in here that could do some weird stuff in competitive play that I would be interested to watch. I'm not like design-wise, I'm not an innovator player, right? I don't play Timmy. I'm very much like a, Johnny Spike kind of player. For any of you watching that understand Magic, like player type terminology. But I think there's space for this kind of stuff. And I also think that like the more that we do this, the more that I think that there were definitely cards that were designed for Rebellion in the Rim. Because I can see a lot of these cards that have a lot more applicable play slots in that format.
I put out a challenge to our viewers here. Anybody who comes up with a really, really good build, and this will have to be judged on by the entire 13th Fleet crew here. But anybody who comes up with a really good Jedi hostage build, I will pick up a set of trays from Admiral Tater's ship shop for you.
Dang. All right.
Wait. What's it? Okay. What's the metric? Like, what's it have to do? What actual accolades is it going to have to win?
It would have to be able to.
Because I'll take a stream challenge.
What
do you guys think is a good metric on this?
I mean, I can tell, right? If it's working in a fleet, right? I can tell. I can play. If we fly against it or we watch it fly, we can tell if it's working or not.
Yeah. And I mean, I will fly it. I have no problem flying it. But I think you might want to actually have a better player than me flying it just to see its effectiveness.
We got multiple people fly it.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. Jedi hostage. I think it's got potential.
Yes.
I'm really surprised we haven't seen it more. I think people are really scared about the whole one defense token thing.
Yeah, I'm not worried about that. All right.
Go in and fly slicer tools.
Yeah.
Play that card.
Oh,
with
man.
Jedi hostage. Right.
Oh no.
No, I'm not putting that much of a stipulation on it. I just want to see a good Jedi hostage build. And we will get into more detail on how this is going to play out, but I am serious. I will, winner of this contest, if we have one, I will get a set of tater trays. Okay, so with that, we are going to say goodnight here. I do want to say that we will be doing Thursday Night Armada this week. I actually have the time off, so I will be able to get everything set up, and you will have a streamed game this time. Hooray!
Nice. All right, boys. See you later.
All right, take care, guys. Thank you for being on the show.
Good night, everybody.
Okay, so I did that a little bit rough. I'm sorry about that transition. I didn't have things set up quite the way that I hoped to for the end. Like I said, we will be doing Thursday Night Armada tomorrow night. So I hope you guys, or not tomorrow night, but Thursday night. So if you want to watch it on Twitch, we will have it available there. It will also be on replay on YouTube, probably sometime Sunday is when I'll have that done. Still in the crazy time of the holidays. Also still having some work done on my home, so these things are kind of screwing up my production schedule, but I am anticipating that Sunday we will have another set of SWTOR adventures, so that's awesome. Always love playing the game with Mallet. And then Monday, fingers crossed, I think we will have a new edition of Outlaws ready to go. Got some other things in the works, but I'm going to keep those under wraps until I'm closer to finish on the editing. I want to make sure that I've got good video going before I say that, hey, yeah, we're ready to go. But follow us on Facebook, follow us on Discord, follow us on Instagram, and I will be letting you guys know what we've got going on when, and hopefully you can join us for that. Still growing the channel, so if we do start growing it enough, may start seeing some Patreon stuff. I haven't gotten on there yet just because I don't have enough of a following here to try to start getting prizes for folks. But fingers crossed, I'm trying to give you good content, and all of it Star Wars gaming. So if you are a fan of Star Wars gaming, or you know somebody else who is, continue to watch the channel, follow the channel, and let your friends know. Thank you so much for your support to this point, and I will see you later, guys.